Right, I have an embarrassing confession to make, and no, this isn't to do with the time I passed out while performing in the school choir and a teacher had to carry me home. No, this is much more than that. I have only just finished all of the Uncharted games. I know, put your pitchforks down. I must have started Uncharted 2 alone 30 damn times, but I'm just rubbish at completing games. In fact, one of my gaming New Year's resolutions is to complete some of my backlog before I buy any more games. Anyway, I thought I'd make a video ranking all of the Uncharted games from worst to best. It should go without saying that this is my opinion, but I would absolutely love to hear what you think about the series in the comment section down below. Also, there may be some slight spoilers, so if you haven't played all of the Uncharted games to completion, you may want to skip this video. Nathan Drake's last outing on the PS3 is a spectacular looking game and has arguably the best set pieces in the series. The shooting was the most refined it had ever been, and the story was the same Indiana Jones-esque adventure we'd come to expect from Drake and his friends. So why have I placed it at the bottom of my list? Well, Uncharted 3 simply felt like more of a chore to complete than the other games in the series. The game definitely has its moments, the bar brawl in London.
Alright, quick, hit him! Bad idea, damn it! Get him!
The aeroplane level. And the hallucinations in the desert all stick out as particular highlights, but the game felt like it was carrying a lot of padding. When the game was released, it did so to critical acclaim, and if I was to give the game a score, it'd probably be an 8 out of 10, maybe pushing for a 9. For it to appear so far down this list should be a great indicator of how good this series really is. Sony owes a lot to the original Uncharted. The PS3 ended up being one of the greatest consoles ever made, but it could have been very different. When Sony announced the PS3, they were already playing catch up to Microsoft's Xbox 360, which had launched almost a year earlier and more importantly at $200 cheaper. The PS3 launched at a whopping $599, but promised that it would be graphically superior to the now year-old Xbox 360. For these bold claims to hold any weight, Sony needed a graphical showcase to really highlight what the new and expensive system could do. 1 year after the PS3 launch, Naughty Dog released Uncharted: Drake's Fortune. At the time, I remember buying a PS3 just to play this game, and I was not let down. For the time, Drake's Fortune looked amazing. The gunplay, while nothing outstanding by today's standards, was solid, but the story, this was like taking part in your own action movie. My girlfriend at the time, who is my fiance now, who isn't a gamer by any means, would sit and watch me play. She said it was like watching a movie. My only complaint about the first Uncharted is the setting. At first, the lush jungles look amazing, but the location soon wears thin, something which was definitely remedied in the later games in the series. Great characters, combined with even greater acting, meant that this game was worth buying a PS3 to play. In terms of graphics, set pieces and gameplay, Uncharted 3 trumps Drake's Fortune in almost every way. In terms of importance to Sony, and in terms of effect that it had on me, Drake's Fortune is just ahead of Uncharted 3. If Drake's Fortune was the surprising success of the Uncharted franchise, then Uncharted 2 propelled the series to new heights. I think what made people stand up and really take notice were the incredible graphics. As mentioned, Drake's Fortune looked good. Uncharted 2 looked absolutely fantastic. Our heroes from the first game returned, and this time the chemistry between Sully, Elena and Nathan Drake was amazing. Add one of Drake's old flames into the mix in Chloe Frazer, and you have a fantastic cast of characters.
You don't get to be jealous.
Wait a minute, Chloe.
If it makes you feel any better, my relationship with Flynn is strictly professional.
Really?
Mostly professional.
Oh.
Improvements were aplenty, with enhanced gun combat, stealth combat, puzzles, and of course the graphics receiving a major overhaul. Also, this was the first time that I actually remember hearing Nate's theme song. I know it appeared in Drake's Fortune, but when I heard it in this game, I immediately knew I wanted to embark on an adventure with Nathan Drake and his friends. The story was by no means perfect, but the characters were what drove me to play the game. You could have them talking about paint drying and I still think it would have been entertaining. Many see Uncharted 2 as the high point of the series, and there is no denying the absolutely ginormous leap made from this game and Drake's Fortune. But it just misses out on second spot due to two of my favourite characters in gaming. This is the part of the video where I expect to split opinions. I loved Chloe and Nadine. Chloe first appeared in Uncharted 2 as an ally, then enemy, then ally of Drake's. Nadine first appeared in Uncharted 4 and was immediately the most badass female character in the Uncharted series. I counted at least 2 times during Uncharted 4 when Nadine kicked Drake's ass.
That'd be the wise thing to do. Oh, come on, Nadine, really? We know you're a badass and all, but there's 2 of us.
I don't think my men are on their way here right now. All I have to do is buy some time. Let's see if I don't finish him myself.
During Uncharted 4, Nadine was actually going up against Drake, so having her buddy up with Chloe for their lost legacy could have backfired if gamers didn't warm to her. But come on, this is Naughty Dog, they know what they're doing by now. You take control of Chloe as you form an uneasy alliance with Nadine to find treasure. Standard Uncharted series plot then. The reason this game is so high on my list and just misses out on top spot is the relationship that is built between Nadine and Chloe. In fact, and here's where I might annoy some people, I find the relationship between Chloe and Nadine far more fascinating than that of Drake and any of his companions. That was until I played Uncharted 4, but we'll get to that in a bit. The reason I think that their relationship shines is the game design. The game is almost an open world game. I say almost as you have a fairly small area to explore, but you can do so at your own leisure. This was first seen in Uncharted 4, albeit in a smaller version. Having the open world setting means a lot of driving, which results in Nadine and Chloe speaking to each other. We find out character motivations, bits of each character's past which we didn't know before, and more importantly we see a bond being formed. And whilst Naughty Dog have hinted that Nathan Drake won't be starring in any more Uncharted games, personally I feel the series is in great hands with Chloe and Nadine.
Indian Army's not messing around.
You know when you start a game but it doesn't immediately grab you and you sort of forget you started it and then never end up playing it again? Well, this is what almost happened with me in Uncharted 4. The game felt a lot slower compared to the previous 3 Uncharted games and I was always waiting for it to get started. About halfway through the game I realised that those first couple of hours of building characters and setting the scene was so important. The main reason that this game is at number 1 is the relationship between Drake, his brother Sam and Elena. I won't go into too much detail, but I'll share one scene where Nate and Elena are sitting on the couch having dinner and having what feels like a real conversation.
Done. Okay. Oh.
Finish it?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, it's probably too long and full of typos, but that's what editors are for, right? God, I'm starving.
It looks good.
Mm-hmm. So, how was your day?
What?
Hmm?
Got none of that.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. How was your day?
Oh, it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Typical day in paradise.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pull a bunch of garbage out of a river. Yes.
At least you got to go for a swim. Did you find any exciting garbage?
Oh, it was some brilliant stuff. It was a early 21st century truck we got. Apparently the natives called it a semi.
Oh, dear Lord.
Kind of stuff. So, boring stuff. Tell me about the article.
Well, it started out as this fluff piece about tourism in Bangkok, but I don't think the magazine is going to like the angle that I'm taking because everyone immediately commented about how rude the smog was, that it was like shock to the lungs, like the second that you got off the plane. So kind of took this U-turn and became this elegy.
Ah! What?
Where are you?
I'm in here being stabbed with a fork.
Oh, really?
What? Just keep going. It was interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. What's my article about?
What? This one?
Mm-hmm.
The people of Bangkok, and the smog, and how they can't get a flight anywhere, and people can't breathe.
Wow.
All right, I'm sorry.
No, it was valiant. It
I was in the
really-
ballpark, right?
In a different state, but yeah, you were in a ballpark. Jameson asked you about that Malaysia job again.
Jameson always asks me about the Malaysia job.
Look, Nate, I really think that you should take it.
You know what? I don't want it. Really. I mean, he doesn't have the permits. And we agreed we're not going to take that kind of work anymore. It's just not worth it.
It doesn't sound that risky. All right? If it's just a permit.
No way.
You could call Sullivan. You haven't seen him in, what, 2 years?
Look, could we please drop this?
Okay, I just don't want you to not take it because of me.
I'm not taking it because of me, okay? I appreciate the gesture. It's just...
I apologise for dumping a 3-minute cutscene in the middle of this video, but I think that cutscene you just watched was a perfect example of Uncharted 4's emphasis on relationships instead of bombastic action set pieces. Of course, Uncharted 4 still has those, but now they coexist with the awesome character building demonstrated in that last scene. I mentioned that I love Nadine and Chloe's relationship, and I really do, but I don't think I've ever played a game that made me feel this attached to characters as Uncharted 4 did. Being the game's debut on the PS4, of course the game looks absolutely outstanding. Comparing the gunplay of Uncharted 3 to Uncharted 4 is a night and day difference, with Uncharted 4 winning hands down, and I could honestly spend another 30 minutes talking about why I love this game so much, but I won't. To put it simply, if you own a PS4, you need to own Uncharted 4, and until The Last of Us 2 comes along, this is by far my favourite game on the system. So that was my list, but as I said at the beginning of the video, I'd love to know what you all think. Leave a comment down below and I'll happily have a discussion with you around this fantastic game series. If you'd like me to do more videos like this one, then leave a like on the video so I know you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.